Good morning on January 31st. Today is the last day of the challenge and I am excited. I'm also excited for a new month to start tomorrow. It is almost noon, but yesterday's video is happily uploading. I have had breakfast. I did spend about a half an hour planning for February, and I do want to work tonight. Ideally, I'd like to be done with everything by 3 o'clock. But worst comes to worst, I can always push it a little bit. So let's look at the to-do list and everything going on right now. This is where we are for today. Top priority is going to be the decluttering. I am doing very well towards that 500 goal, but I do need 27 items. Another really important item on this list is going to be setting up that robotic vacuum. That is one of the tasks on my big monthly to-do list. And at this point, this is probably the last task I'll be able to complete, which means I will get 9 tasks done and I'll be able to get all my money back from my friend except 20 bucks, which is not bad. This is another lesson to do things earlier in the month and not leave them to the last moment, because if I had done all my insurance stuff earlier, I would have been able to make my primary care appointment and perhaps my therapy appointment as well. But because today is Saturday and I just got the information for the new insurance policy that's going into effect as of tomorrow, I can't call any doctor's offices because they're closed. But that's okay. None of these items are being forgotten. They will be addressed next month. Going along with setting up the vacuum, I would like my floors to be swept or vacuumed if everything works out. And ideally, I would really like to wash them. I absolutely hate this task, but it would make my day if I could get it done. The dusting is another one of my monthly tasks that I should do. I also hate dusting. I hate cleaning in general, I guess, but the dusting is not as important to me. It's not going to make or break the day. Aside from these, I do have these 3 tasks right here that were meant to help set me up for February. I was going to be updating my trackers, especially my cleaning tracker. I'm a little behind on that. And setting up February in my planner. My plan was also to meet up with my friend and get my cash back for that big to-do list. However, if I do not have the time, getting my cash back is not important. I can do that any day. Updating my trackers is not an end-all be-all. If I don't get it done, I don't. That's okay. I can get it done in the next week. Same thing with setting up February. If I really need to focus my energies on the other items, this is not a priority. This can also be done tomorrow, for example. As much as I'd love to get everything set up for February, I can manage without that. As I mentioned, I have started doing some planning for February. So as long as I know what I need to get done tomorrow for February 1st, I am okay with that. I can go from there. Anyway, getting back to the to-do list, I think the first thing I need to start with is setting up that vacuum. Because if that does work, it will take a little bit of time to get everything vacuumed up. And then I can do other things while that works and come back to washing the floor later. So, let's go. Fun fact, this vacuum has been in its box since 2020. Yes, you heard that right. It's been more than 5 years now. And today's the day. Hopefully it's not damaged and it actually works right, because it's absolutely past its return policy. All this time I thought it said Bob Pet Hair Champion, and I thought to myself, I do need a champion to handle the pet hair. But it says Champagne, and I just realized that when I looked at the box here. Hopefully the Champagne vacuum is also a champion with pet hair. Guys, I just realized I am super dumb. Obviously, once I set this up, it's not going to be able to do anything because it's going to need to charge. This is wireless. Duh. But in a sense, that's okay. That means that I won't have to wait for this to work. I'll just do the sweeping and I'll be able to carry on with my day while this charges, and then hopefully we can use it in the next few days. All right, it looks like it's charging. And now let me clean up this mess a little bit so I can continue. Before I can sweep, since I obviously have to do it myself, I have to clean up around the room. There is just so much mess here. Everything that I was doing, I was just dropping it where I was finished or not finished and having to move on to the next task. So it's a little messy. Let's first clean everything up so that we can do some sweeping. It's 2 p.m. now, and I've spent the last half an hour going back and forth on what I can and cannot get done, or what I should and should not even try doing. And regardless of everything else on my list, the two main things I still want to get done is the decluttering for today, the 27 items I need to get. And I'm not struggling with that because of lack of things to get rid of, because there are certainly areas I can go into and find those numbers. But I'm trying to figure out if I should do that now or if I should wash the floor. And there are pros and cons to both, because washing the floor requires people or anybody else not walking on it for a while, and it's kind of hard to corral the cats. But also, if I wash the floor now, I will want to eat and get ready for work, and inevitably I'll want to move around. I can't just remove myself from the living room for an hour until the floor dries. But on the other hand, I probably should just do it and stop thinking about it. And lastly, could I do both in the next hour if I hustle? Let's see. One of the things that always stands in my way of washing the floor, besides myself, of course, is this coffee table. This coffee table has these sticky felt pads on the bottom, and everything sticks to it. All the fur is here. So doing a good job cleaning requires cleaning these off. But the worst part is that when the floor is wet, it all gets absorbed into this felt pad and just leaves streaks all over. I am determined to change this situation. This is how all the legs look, just in case you were wondering. So I need to get these felt pads off, and by plastic pads, you know, the ones that you nail in there, I think that would really solve some of these issues. But for now, I'm leaving the coffee table over there and off the floor. This is not to say that the other furniture doesn't have a similar issue, but at least these plastic ones don't draw lines on my clean floor and don't absorb all the dirty water. Let's do this. I also want to see how long it will take me. I'm going to start in the bedroom and the little hallway to the bathroom, but I'll be back here in just a moment. It looks like this took approximately 20 minutes. And why did I think wearing black was a good idea? I don't know. I've rolled myself twice already with sticky paper, and this is still what's left over from the floor. It's 2:45 now, and I have to say the universe really cooperated with me. There are parts of the floor that are already dry, so I can be on my couch without stepping on anything, or I can go into my bedroom as well. But most importantly, I think one cat only walked through a little bit of the wet floor, which isn't bad. This guy here was my main concern, because the moment I start doing anything, he wants to play and he's interested in what I'm doing. He wants to be everywhere. But by some miracle, he just fell asleep over there and he has not gotten off the couch. This is such a big help. In the summer, I can let the cats outside while I wash the floor, and while it dries, they can just be outdoors, but now that's not an option. So this was a real concern for me, so I'm glad it worked out. Also, because I wash the floor does not mean I am completely satisfied. I know that this is not the best, most in-depth floor cleaning that I should or could do. I didn't wash the floor under all the furniture. I only washed a little bit of the floor in the bedroom. I didn't take the opportunity to clean the baseboards or to clean the furniture legs for most of the furniture. And all those things for me would be part of a really good floor washing. However, I did make the floor much, much better. So I think I did this job at about 80%. And that's not bad. That's definitely a passing grade. This also lays the groundwork for future me in February to perhaps do a more in-depth clean. No worries, the dirt will still be here. If right now you're thinking that I am reaching for some pretty low-hanging fruit, you're right. This is the bag of writing utensils that I had pulled from another box, and I intended to put this with all my office supplies in the office supply bag and go through it at some other time just because there were so many. But I think today is the perfect day to actually go through them. First of all, I need 27 items, and today's the last day. So 27 items need to go. That's good motivation. Second, if I had put this bag of stuff in there, I would have put it away and forgotten about it. And let's be honest, most of these, probably all of these, I will never use because I do have my favorite pens already. Some of them might be special or sentimental or just ones I've forgotten I have and I want to use, but most of them probably need to go. One of my good friends has a family member who is a teacher, and whatever I want to get rid of, I am sure she will appreciate. Because what classroom doesn't need some extra pencils and pens? And then whatever she doesn't need, she can throw away. So without further ado, let's go through all of these. I have a frozen pizza in the oven because yesterday I ran out of time and didn't eat before going to work, and that was a big mistake. I narrowly avoided having a migraine, and I can't do that. So for the 12 minutes that the pizza is baking, I'm going to work on this. All right, I'm pretty much done. I think out of everything there, this is all I want to keep, and it's probably more than I need. But from that big bag, I don't think that's bad. These pens and pencils still work, and I'm going to give these away. But take a look at my biggest pile. All of these pens did not work, and I was going to keep them. Isn't that crazy? It's pretty obvious that I have more than 27 items, but let's count everything up. 28, 29, 30 things I'm throwing away. And then let's count everything I'm giving away. Because I did so good today, I'm just going to count all of these little golf pencils as one. 1, 19, 20. Altogether, I'm getting rid of 50 items today, and that surpasses my goal for February. I honestly felt a little bad when I pulled out the pens and decided to go through them. I really thought like I was cheating a little bit, that this was such an easy thing. I knew there was a lot there to get rid of, and I'm going to count each one. But honestly, this was one of the most satisfying things to go through. I had no idea that so many things in there were things I did not need. I just didn't want to deal with it in the moment. But it's going to make such a difference when I don't have to move that big bag of useless stuff around. The little joys like this are the reason that decluttering is a goal of mine. No more useless crap that I'm ignoring taking up space. This challenge was not easy. There were many days that I didn't want to do it, but it was certainly worth it. I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you who stuck with me throughout this month. If it wasn't for these videos, I would have given up a long time ago. Because there were certainly many days that I absolutely didn't feel like doing anything, but I pushed through and I got it done. So thank you. Thank you so much for being with me, and stay tuned for what's to come in February.